I'd start by saying, and maybe I said this before, so maybe I'm repeating, but just want to punctuate it by saying that rich is a number and wealth is a mindset.
Mm,
And people have a number, right? I've thought of numbers, Brad. You've thought of numbers. It's like, okay, well, what is the number? What is the amount of dollars that I need to do what? Fill in the blank. That numerical exercise tends not to be particularly satisfying over the long run. I mean, there's an engineering problem in terms of which, not really the topic of today, or at least it's a side note. There's an engineering problem is, oh, okay, well, I want to retire at age 63 with $3 million. Why? Well, I don't know, because with a 4% withdrawal rate, I can have X number of dollars of income per month, and that can, sustain me or, sort of so I can afford to do the things that I want to do. And that's totally fine. That's table stakes. That's a commoditized service by financial advisors. If that's all you offer, you don't really have much to compete on. And, thinking about rich as a number puts us on that treadmill where, okay, you get to the number, and then there's a pretty good chance when you get there, you're going to say, well, I want more. So, people who have $1 million, oh, 2 million sounds great. Then you get to 2 million, how about 3.5, 4 million? And it really doesn't end. And there's an
mhm,
enormous amount of evidence to suggest that. The much harder and I think more fulfilling task is to reframe wealth as a mindset. And let's just do a little evolutionary psychology. Humans were not born as calculators. We were born as storytellers. We're not a particularly numerate species. I could ask you what's 2 plus 2, and you'd answer me not because you calculated it, but because it's part of your memory. I could give you something slightly harder and you'd do it. If I gave you something, what's 117 plus 942, you'd probably have to take out a pen and paper, and it gets much worse from there. So, we're a very successful species. We're the number one on the block, but we're not particularly numerate. What we are, and from the jump, in terms of how we developed as a society, as a species, is through the lens of storytelling. It ends up that when we say rich is a number, wealth is a mindset, wealth is also a story. It's about the story we tell ourselves about who we are and who we want to be. So it goes beyond what we want. It goes beyond what we do. It really goes to the question of identity. And, you already pointed it out very well, but the modern advisor should be adept at understanding what somebody's story is and help move that forward so that you can really understand what's important to them. What are these deep underlying sources of contentment or fulfillment? How does money attach to them? And how do you build a plan? And not just like a day one plan, but an ongoing adaptive plan so that people can continue through an unpredictable and sometimes tumultuous life, continue to afford the things that are meaningful to them.